Demi, what is your most up thought about immigration?
Do it the right way, like my family. If you don't have a PhD, you can get the hell out.
Is your family Vietnamese? That's not
Okay, I only have a bachelor's in journalism, and I'm not using the degree except for this podcast. Andre, what are your most offensive thoughts about immigration?
If you don't have a PhD, you go back home.
Do you know who you're voting for? We don't.
But the election's coming up, so it's time to figure it out.
This is the Are We Wrong podcast.
I'm AI Norman.
I'm Demi Chang, and we're comedians in Austin, Texas.
And we've decided that we are the people best suited to help you figure out who to vote for.
At the start of each episode, we're gonna pick an election topic from this bucket.
We'll start by saying which candidate we think we're most aligned with on that topic.
And then we're gonna explore each topic and be as candid as you wish you could be.
Then we'll reveal each candidate's platforms and we'll re-vote and see if our vote changes. And we encourage you all to follow along at home with that same experiment.
Are we wrong? Are we right? Let us know in the comments what we got right and what we got wrong.
And if you want to tell us why we're wrong in person, you can come to our live Are We Wrong show. It will be held at Something Cool Studios in Austin, Texas on October 26th at 8 p.m. in time to figure out who to vote for before the election. And we'll have on guests more special than we are to help us sort this out.
Tickets are available at the link below or arewewrong.eventbrite.com.
Hope to see you there.
Let's get started.
Once again, we find ourselves with a topic we are woefully underqualified to discuss, immigration. And so we've brought on another guest for us. This is André De Freitas, and I met him at the Mothership the other day, and he is touring around with Russell Peters right now. He's also toured with Jim Jeffries, Jim Gaffigan, Liza Schlesinger, a bunch of other people. And so he's a world traveler, constantly immigrating, and he lives in London. He's from Portugal, he lives in London, and he travels around a lot, and so he is going to help us think through the topic of immigration for the US, which he can't vote in, but...
Wow, thank you so much. You did a great job at lifting your eyes from the paper.
Thank you. I did, I barely looked at it.
Yeah, I barely looked at it, and you were like, it made me be like, wow, that guy really travels a lot. I thought of that, so it was a very good introduction. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for doing it.
We just want to make you feel special.
Thank you, you did.
Have you moved around, like actually moved more than once?
As in to live?
As in immigrated, yeah.
No, only when I went to London. When I first tried to come to the US when I was 18, and I didn't really understand the visas and stuff like that, and so then I went back and I went to London.
You went back voluntarily or involuntarily?
No, I went back voluntarily. Okay. Once I understood, I was like, oh, as a kid, I was 18, 19.
Too much paperwork.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were like, the only way you can stay essentially is if you study or if you get an artist's visa. And studying was very expensive, so my parents couldn't afford it. I wasn't smart enough to get a scholarship. And then artist's visa, it was just impossible because you have to convince the US government that you are of extraordinary ability in the arts and television. So it's taken me like 10 years to, get the visa.
Now that you have followers on social media, are you an extraordinary talented artist enough for a visa?
Yeah, I just got it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, congrats.
Is that like, you get 1,000 followers on YouTube, you can be monetized. Is it like there's a certain amount where then you're...
Yeah, is there a government statute that says
100,000
shall has
Instagram?
More than how many?
They don't really care about followers, the government. So essentially they have to see, you have to get a bunch of people that are important in your industry to write you letters to the government. So it has to be like recognizable people. And then you also have to have a lot of international press. And then you have to put together a bunch of different documents that show to them that you're not a bum.
Oh, wow. That seems like a lot of work.
Is it as much work as crossing a river and going through a barbed wire fence and then climbing another wall?
Are you comparing it to your Marines training or? Oh, the Mexicans trying to get over here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I thought I was just like a tough mutter or.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
Yeah. Okay,
I just had to bring it back.
Yeah. Well, some people pay smugglers. I paid the government.
Yeah. So let's start out by telling our most offensive thoughts. Demi, what is your most up thought about immigration?
Do it the right way, like my family. If you don't have a PhD, you can get the hell out.
Is your family Vietnamese? That's not
Okay, I only have a bachelor's in journalism, and I'm not using the degree except for this podcast.
But that's okay because you were born here.
Yeah, so take that. Just scoot your booty across the line and pop your baby out. Or don't do that. I'm confused on my views now. Yeah, okay. André, what are your most offensive thoughts about immigration?
If you don't have a PhD, you go back home.
Just in a different accent.
I get it, it's offensive because, no, you can do it. I give everyone permission.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you do it well. Oh.
I will just be speaking like this now.
Yeah, if you can do it a good job, then you can do it.
Thank you very much. Arigatou shishing.
Okay, you combine Japanese and Chinese.
Yeah.
I know.
You're creeping into.
Because I'm reaching a wide audience.
He's a globalist.
That's right.
You've been hanging out with Russell Peters too long. You're just trying to make fun of every race at once.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I need to show him
I've
my
been
accent. I learned my accents from him. Okay.
What's my most offensive thought other than the accent I've just did? I would say, I don't think it's offensive, but I would say if you want to kick out all the immigrants, you got to do the same crossing they did. So if they came on a rubber boat, you got to get to a rubber boat, and then we're going to pitch this to TLC and make it a reality show. Can Big Mike and his family get over to Italy?
It's called Leave the Way You Came.
On a dinghy with nothing but a bucket of KFC chicken.
Or we should just deport the Americans that don't meet a certain threshold.
Yeah, so you want to
and
deport
the threshold is a weight threshold.
Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, so what if you weigh more than, 350 pounds, then we kick you out?
No, we should go by, BMI is not a legit
Yeah,
thing
but that's
anymore.
what I'm saying. Pick a weight where no one's healthy at that point. You know what I mean? Where that's insane.
Yeah, exactly. And then you put them on the dinghy, they'll just sink.
Yeah,
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Boom.
Okay, so a max weight. Oh, okay.
I thought we were doing the hot or not scale. No.
To me, that's
Well, Ariel, okay, I'm sorry.
Wait, I think that plays into it.
Wait, stop. We talked about that after where this is going to be.
I'm sorry.
So don't reference
We're
the hot or not
time-traveling
thing.
aliens.
We're time traveled, yes.
Okay.
So now you ask me
Okay,
what
time
my
back
most up thought is.
You ask.
And what's your most up thought, Ariel?
About immigration. I haven't thought this through, so hold on one second.
Wow. When you literally said, now you ask me,
Well, I know.
I would think you would have been prepared.
How was I prepared? We were talking. I was listening actively with you guys. I wasn't planning what I would say.
But then you were like, ask me. And then I asked you, and you were like,
I
I didn't
just
see
wanted-
this coming at all.
I just didn't think you knew where we were at in the
Just do
program.
what I do. When I ask people what they think, I'm actually just anxiously thinking about what I'm going to say next, which I
I
need to
should
work
have been
on.
doing that. I'm sorry I made the mistake of being present with you two.
I'm trying to be better.
Okay, I mean, I'm
I
trying
think we're
to...
going to have to deport you.
Yeah, I'm not prepared for it. Yeah, okay, let me think. An offensive thought is... thought, I don't know, maybe there are a few countries we don't want. Well, no, because if you really do want to escape a up country, then it makes sense that we should, you know what I mean? Like if you want to get out of one of the ones that's really shitty to women, then I do kind of want you to be able to come over here.
So maybe just no more Italians.
I've been saying that for a long time. No more Italians. We are full up on
No
Italians.
no Germans, except the ones that were like, all right, we'll take the Nazis to get to space first.
I don't know. I have a fondness for Germans, actually. But the Italians, I think we're good.
Yeah.
But what if they can make fresh pasta?
Okay, maybe only Sicilians.
I think there's pasta in other parts of Italy.
Yeah, we know how now. Or we can just have Asian noodles. I don't need Italian noodles.
They have a Netflix series on noodles right now. It made me cry.
I love noodles.
I love noodles. We all love noodles. Okay, well let's bring this to the U.S. presidential election of 2024. So let's see who we all think. We're about to talk about the U.S.'s immigration policy, but before we do that, let's see who we think we should vote for based on our ignorant views and your perhaps more informed views. Okay, so all in favor of Kamala Harris's policies on immigration? Wait, I haven't even thought through who I want to vote for. Oh, okay, yes. All in favor of Kamala Harris? All in favor of Trump? All right, but we have no idea. So are we wrong?
I don't know. I don't know if you're wrong, but I couldn't possibly vote for someone who put people in cages.
But okay, but haven't the Democrats also had people in cages the whole time? Because that's what I always heard is that Obama also had everybody in cages, maybe more so than anyone else before.
Well, maybe he hit it better.
Yeah, the PR. Well, maybe the media was more on their side, but they wouldn't put people in cages forever. Like
The cages part was not good. I will say that part was not good. But we could flesh out all because.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and also just the straight up ban of countries. It's, I think, oversimplifying a nation.
Sure.
Of people.
But I don't think Trump wants to do that anymore. But maybe he does. We'll figure that out.
I don't know.
I guess here's what I think is going on is that the Biden policy at the border was a mess, and it was basically we have this refugee program on steroids a little bit, where anybody who says that they're a refugee can just kind of like stay for a while, make their case later. But it's not, for a while it was like if you're a war-torn country or you're going to definitely get killed because you're a dissident or gay or something, like maybe you can present your case and then maybe we'll let you be here. But then it just became like, oh, my country's like, so I don't want to be like, I'm a refugee because my country sucks. So can I stay here, please? Like, I think it's kind of like people are just abusing the refugee program. So then we've got everybody just coming in and people are just piling over the border and they're bringing drugs and they're bringing whatever. And like, we need some kind of system to.
I would say that as someone who went through the immigration process, it's not easy. Like, I think maybe general people think it's a lot easier than it is.
No, I think it's the illegal immigration process that we're saying is too easy.
Right.
It's either because of refugees or just pouring over the border. And so what I want to see is something where we really do stop as much as possible illegal immigration and kind of fake refugee shit, but we make it easier to immigrate if you are like
doing it the right
if you're doing it the right way. And we have a generous thing where we go, okay, we need lots of immigrants. A lot of us don't want to have kids anymore. We're too poor to do it, but we need people. So we want immigrants, but we want to make sure we know who's coming here. We have it documented. Maybe make it easier for legal immigrants. Maybe increase the number of legal immigrants of higher quality, but stop.
So hotter people.
Hotter would be how I would vote for it.
Yeah. Because I think the thing with immigration is it gets a bad reputation because every time you see immigrants on TV, they all look like shit.
It's uggos.
But like you never see someone complaining about Victoria's Secret models,
Right.
Well,
which is they're all immigrants.
But
Yes.
those are the ones going for the K-1 visas or the other types of avenues.
Yeah, but no one's
that's
going
still
there.
the right
Irina
way.
Shayk, get back to where you came from. Adriana Lima,
Yeah.
I think that's a good part of our immigration policy we should have is not just can you answer who George Washington is, but how hot or not.
I agree. I think it should be a sort of club policy.
I mean, they do it in
You know?
sororities, so why not for America?
I agree. I think, listen, the refugees will at least put in a little bit of an effort before getting on the
A
boat.
little bit of an effort.
You know,
Maybe
they'd
we
be
could
like,
have
oh
a
my God, girl, you look amazing. Who's he? Green card, you know, I'm fucking, you get on the high heels on the little boat.
It has softened me about Californian immigration to Texas. It's like, hey, like, you know what, our city is getting more attractive with all these Californians.
My thing is, first of all, my favorite quote from the VP debate was JP Vance saying with a straight face, Kamala's southern borders are wide open. That was good. But yeah, if people are doing it the right way, because as a child of immigrants, and I would have previously wholeheartedly said, yes, let them in, like America's the land of opportunity. But there's people doing it the right way. Like you had to trudge through the muds of comedy, for God's sake. And there's people who are just taking advantage of certain systems that we have. And yes, like, of course, people want to come here for opportunity, but cutting corners and then promising to show up on your court date and all those other little stipulations versus the people who are working their asses off to do it the right way.
How did your parents come here?
My parents came here, my dad came here on a school visa, and most of the people in their group and generation, I recently watched a movie about this that made me cry because a lot of the people from my parents, like the Chinese population, they went through the Cultural Revolution didn't have education, self-studied for college, and then were the very top of their class and were good enough that they could come to the US for like their PhDs and master's degrees. So my dad came here for his PhD and everything, and then brought my mom over, and then she also has an engineering degree and all that stuff. And so when you talk about Asian stereotypes and all that stuff, it's like, well, yeah, they were the top of their group.
Because if you were an
over.
academic, weren't you going to get killed or sent off to a camp or something?
Yeah, it
you had
was
to
rough.
come to America if you wanted to be a smart person.
Or just keep learning.
Well,
Yeah.
but also there's a lot of smart people that don't have PhDs.
Yeah, and you don't have
Sure.
to, but there's other avenues. Like there are people who came here and then they have to do like the 10-year wait or whatever wait to get their green card the right way, or the stuff that you went through compared to.
Well, my uncle, he so when he was young, he was in so my dad he was born in Mozambique, and his brother is deaf, and the only school for deaf people was in America at the time. So he came, and he lived in America for, he's been here all his life, speaks American Sign Language, doesn't even speak Portuguese Sign Language, and built a family, and 25 years after being here already, got a letter from the government saying he might be deported. And he was like, deported where? Like, I have no life in, there's nothing. So I think it was like a stressful time for the family, because his kids are American, his wife Canadian, but whatever. So even after 25 years, he still had to fight to get his green card and stuff like that. And, if you think about the idea of being deported, you're like, deported to where? Like, I have no roots anywhere else. My family's here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, right? Because Trump has this whole like the deportation idea he wants to do. And I'm like, I don't know if we can, maybe there would be some case by case basis where some people could be deported. And they really did just come here and it's like, hey, you're a criminal and let's get rid of you or something like that. But it mostly seems like if you've been here, because once people start having kids here and stuff, like we can't really be sending them back. That's a non-starter.
I do agree with creating pathways to citizenship and lowering the threshold for people to become legal citizens if, like, once they've built a life and proven that they're contributing to society. Mm-hmm. And then, because that is an example of something that's like, okay, you're contributing, you're doing all this stuff, but then there's other people who literally like scooch their butt across the border to pop a baby out on this side of the I don't know if that's that's a dramatization, but
like, for example, with like the refugee boats and stuff like that, I don't know if you've seen, it's an insane thing to go through. Like, half the people die at sea. So like, when you get on that boat, wherever you are, there's a 50% chance you'll survive.
Wait, people are still taking little
dinghies
yeah. From Cuba, you mean, or what? How
Just
far?
like,
Are
there was people coming in from like all sorts of different places in Europe, because there was the same thing with Germany was taking on a lot of immigrants, a lot of refugees. England had the same sort of discussion. So this is a discussion that's happening in many countries.
Right.
So it's not an exclusively American thing, but I do think that some of the paths that people take, they're so dangerous.
Yeah.
So then to be like by the time they get here, they've seen people die.
Yeah.
Like that's, I don't think any of us could even fathom what that must be.
Yes, to want something.
Like.
So I don't think it's like, even though it's bad to like take advantage of systems, I do agree that there's like, a lot of us don't know what it's like to want something so badly or to fear something so badly behind you that you need. Like, I read the novel American Dirt, which is about like Mexican immigrants coming in. It like really puts things in perspective. They're making a movie about it. But yeah, so that part is bad. But I also wanted to bring up, because again, we're exploring all the avenues that this affects. And the other thing that immigration affects that I'm just starting to learn about or revisit is how it affects like electoral college votes and how people worry about, like, if illegal immigrants can vote, then what? Or if illegal immigrants can vote and don't pay taxes, or how will it affect how many votes our state gets, and just the other things that are not just the like people coming in with a dream, because I do want to support that, but it's hard to think about all the other avenues that it leads down.
Yeah.
Well, I think, if you've got your papers, vote. If you don't vote.
Yeah, I don't think it's that easy to vote if you're an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, I don't think it's very easy at all.
But I think the Democrats want to lower the threshold to allow
so we can get more of these people to
non-citizens
vote.
to
Yeah,
vote.
but good luck to them if they really think they've just got a lock on every immigrant's vote, because a lot of immigrants are much more conservative than the average American, so it
That's
might
right.
bite them in the ass.
Immigrants, they come and then they're like,
They believe in...
all right, it's enough now.
Most immigrants believe in 2 genders and 1 God, so good luck, Democrats. But, so... Yeah, I mean, I think that there is that issue, though, of cultural change, right? There's speed of cultural change. And so some people are worried about taking on too many immigrants who just don't share some basic values, especially when it comes to, I think, like regressive, religious, misogynistic stuff of some of the countries. Like, that's really uncomfortable. But the truth is, like, we just don't have a homogenous society even now. Even Americans, even white Americans are so divided about a lot of stuff. It's not like we have a cohesive culture that even is threatened. Like, right now we just don't have one. So...
Well, isn't one of America's main quotes, anthems, bring me your poor, you're tired, you're huddled masses. Mm-hmm. So then the poor and tired, the huddled masses come and you're like, you know what? No, we take that back.
Yeah, I think you want a trickle of poor, huddled, tired masses.
America was built on that idea. That's so much so that when I talk to people in America, they always go, oh, I'm Italian, or I'm Croatian, or I'm this, but it's like, no, you're American because you were born in America for 3 generations. Mm-hmm. So much so that a lot of the immigrants, they get stuck in whatever decade they left their country. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of the times they'll even have opinions of the country, and it's like, that's not even how it is anymore. You left 40, 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I think in general, when you talk to Americans very much refer to their identity as, there's like big race conversations all the time. It's like white people this, black people that, Chinese, Asians this, or whatever. And I think actually the fact that more people constantly talk about it, it just creates bigger divides. Yeah. If people didn't really talk about it, they would be like, black people are like this, white people are like this, or whatever. Like, there would really be they wouldn't be so segregated, it wouldn't be so divided. Because when people associate their identity to where they come from, then that's always going to be their thing. It's like, oh, I'm Italian American, or I'm Italian, or whatever. No, you're American, right? You're all American, like white, Asian, black, whatever. So I think it seems to me sometimes, and obviously I agree with the values idea, because you go to someone else's house, someone wants me to take my shoes off, I take my shoes off. Right? You go to someone else's house, you're nice, you're nice to them. But I think that often what happens is people forget the values in which they were funded upon. Because America is a very new country. You can't forget that. It's 250 years old?
Right.
So by world standards, it's a teenager, it's a baby. Right? So it's still kind of figuring out its footing. Most people can trace back who came to their country. Their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly do that. So I think over time, as civilizations mature, then there's more mixes, right? You see couples that are of what you'd call maybe 2 different races, and more of that, and that becomes the fabric of the country. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'm thinking maybe we need to come up with like a 10 values of America where we go, these are the things, we need you to have the buy-in of like, if you want to be in America, it's because you believe these 10 things or something. And then if you do that, then okay, great. So the rest of it from there, we're all it's a fluid society where we figure out how we want to do this. But if you come here, we need you to believe in free speech. We need you to believe in, I don't know.
Be hot, number 1.
Be hot.
Be hot. and be like, I only want to be around hot people.
I think we need values. Yeah, like try to be hot and also try to make the world a better place. Like want to actually contribute something. Here we're gonna work hard. That's very American. Like we want to work hard so we can play hard. Like
But not everyone wants to work hard.
Yeah, but if you can work hard in your own way, whatever. But like some kind of value, some kind of ethic of, hey, we all have to contribute. Because I think we want to get rid of this. Because we don't want people coming here to be freeloaders and going, hey, like, if I'm poor enough here, then the system will just kind of pay for my stuff, and then I don't have to pay into it. And if you're born here and if you're an immigrant, I don't want anybody coming here to just be.
But I would argue
lunch.
that
Gen
no
X.
country wants that.
Right.
I mean, not Gen X. I meant to say Gen Z. Yeah, but I think that's why this election is so hard, because like the president kind of sets the tone for what the values are going to look like, and they're two completely, at face value, two completely different
So.
value
Well,
systems.
I think what all of us can seem to agree on is like, I think what we want is to make legal immigration easier. So with legal immigration, you get some checks on, quality of person here. Not that I'm saying you have to have a PhD or something,
Yeah,
but just like
definitely
we
not.
want to make sure you don't have a bunch of criminal background. We want to make sure you, have some plan to make money at all, whatever, something like that. Like we need some amount of checks and so that we know who you are, who is coming into the country. We want easier legal immigration, so it's not this tough mudder race to get into here, and we want harder illegal immigration, so it's not just a tough mudder race to get into here. We want it to be harder to illegally immigrate, easier to legally immigrate.
Yeah.
And then
So that's not right or left. That's
Yeah.
centrist.
right.
So,
I mean,
which I
we're
think is
pretty
what the majority of people are.
Exactly, which is I think that's kind of why we're all undecided voters this time around, because most people are centrist, and I do want to I'm always trying to come out of the closet about all my centrist views, because I think a lot of people are fooled into thinking that most of the country is either hard right or hard left, whereas I think most of the country is pretty much
No, I think
centrist.
the majority of the world population is centrist.
Right.
It's just that the people on either edge are the loudest.
They're the loudest. They're getting the most attention in our attention economy and the way everything works on the internet. That's what you see. So this is what we're all trying to be like,
Yeah.
hey, we're all centrists. So we want
So
better system.
when you have like a comment section anywhere, it's always just people arguing on both ends of the spectrum. The
craziest.
majority of people just scrolls through,
Right.
likes it, moves on.
So you have
Those
a
are the
reasonable,
centrists.
yeah, exactly.
That's why we're trying to capitalize on that and make noise in the center. That's why we have
It's-
a pot with a spoon that we're
It's the
banging on.
centrist moment right now. Okay, so we have centrist views on immigration. Let's see what our candidates are saying. Let's start with Kamala Harris, who backs a bipartisan bill. Harris was tapped by Biden in July 21 to examine the root causes of Central American migration to the U.S. She said she opposes family separation and favors allowing undocumented spouses of U.S. citizens to apply for a green card. The Biden White House backed a bipartisan bill by Senators James Lankford of Oklahoma, a Republican, Chris Murphy, Democrat from Connecticut, and Kristen Sinema, independent from Arizona, that would raise the bar for asylum seekers to enter the country and to be approved, as well as give the president more power to turn away new arrivals if migration levels hit certain triggers. Harris voted against Trump's border wall as a senator. Okay. So there we go, raising the bar for asylum seekers.
And Trump said, immigration crackdown. Trump promises a crackdown on migration. His campaign website says President Trump will shut down Biden's border disaster. He will again end the catch and release, restore remain in Mexico, and eliminate asylum fraud. In cooperative states, President Trump will deputize the National Guard and local law enforcement to assist with rapidly removing illegal alien gang members and criminals.
Okay, so it doesn't say he's going to deport at anybody, just like a father who's got kids. It says illegal alien gang members and criminals.
Alien is such a crazy term.
Yeah, but that's just the technical
Especially when there's
term.
real
No, I know,
aliens.
but like, cause I got, it's on my visa, alien of
Yeah.
whatever, and I'm like,
We're all
just
aliens.
foreign.
It's kind of cute though, isn't it? I don't know. It's pretty-
Yeah, but it's such an interesting that it's like an official term.
Well, I think because we always used to use the word alien before anyone talked about UFO aliens.
As
Alien
something
was
foreign.
it was a
Yeah, I
very
think
neutral
about-
term,
yeah.
but it's just because we think of little green men now. But that's like only in the past few decades that people started thinking of alien primarily as the little green men.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of just an old timey term at this point. Okay, well, so it just kind of depends on what they're really going to do. Because, like, part of me thinks Kamala is going to be better on the border than Biden. And she really, like, I don't think she really has, like, a soft heart and really wants to, just let them all in. Like,
Yeah, this actually makes me feel better about. Okay, I will say
About
the
both of them,
source we're
really.
using is NBC, which I think leans a little bit more blue. So I will concede that our source document leans a little to the left. So we could also double check with other sources.
I don't mind some kind of border wall, but I just don't really know if the economics and the logistics of it is like feasible. Like,
Is
I
it
don't know what the best
taxing
thing
and
to
stuff
do.
that she's against?
Well, it seems to me that she has more of a set plan, guidelines, which is raise the bar for asylum seekers, as well as having certain triggers that if they're hit, then you go into the threshold and that's too much. So it seems like there's a more set.
Right.
Whereas maybe with Trump, it feels very
Blustery.
We're
and
learning-
very loose.
We're learning he's very loose and vague about a lot of things, but again,
I'll shut down the disaster.
Yeah.
this
Don't ask me how. I can't.
Well,
again,
he's,
the source
he's,
doc.
he's very smart at how he speaks to people. He speaks to everybody on a level they can understand,
Right.
right? So it's almost like when you make content, they always tell you to be like, speak like you're speaking to a fifth grader,
Right.
right? Because, so I think he doesn't need to say anything specific, because if he just says the right things, it's enough. But it actually, when you dig, you're like, oh, but there's no actual maybe.
So
Well,
Trump should
plan.
be a TikToker. is what we're
Ending the catch and
Oh,
release.
you would have been the greatest comedian
Yeah. Well,
to have ever lived. You would have been the greatest character comedian to have ever lived.
I want to watch The Apprentice. I want to go back and watch
I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, we should watch.
Yeah,
we should do
the
a watch
other-
party.
Yes. The other day I looked up on my phone the theme. So and I love that entrance, when you got the elevator, he's like, money, money, money.
I never watched.
I've literally never
so
seen any of it. Yeah.
I loved it.
Okay, so restoring remain in Mexico, that's a good one, right? Where like if you got to be in Mexico and then you can apply to
know
get in
anything
here or
about
something, or else because they were coming here and then applying. You stay there, you apply, and then we'll let you in or something.
Oh, you mean as opposed to
Yeah,
like
but
here's your court date?
that's just how it works.
Right.
You have to go to an embassy to have your passport stamped. It doesn't
Yeah.
happen inside the country.
Well, I think that so he wants you to stay in
But I
your
think that's
country.
already happening.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's how it happens for me. So I have to go back to get it stamped.
All right. Well, I feel like we need more information, so we're gonna have to keep working on this, I think. But for now, all right. Based on this, who do we think agrees most with her? Let's do the roll call. Okay, right now, if you are going to vote for Kamala Harris based on immigration, raise your hand.
If she keeps her word.
Right, I know we're all worried about all of this, but
But
based
either
on
one of their words,
Yeah,
we
I
don't,
mean,
there's no.
I don't assume any politician will ever keep their word on anything.
but she does sound more centrist about it, whereas it does sound like she's trying to address the things we're talking about. She at least says she's going to, but whereas Trump might also do some things where I don't know if he's going to help increase legal immigration. I don't think he has that part of it at all. There's no vibe from him that he wants to help make it easier to legally immigrate. Yeah. So she does seem a little more centrist to me on him than he does on this. Yeah. All right.
But now this is making me question the source document because I think we're 3 for 3, we're 4 for 4. No wait,
No, I think we're.
No, if
I think we're
3-1.
2-2.
Okay.
Are you keeping score? Okay. All right. Well, that is Kamala Harris sweeping the vote board on the immigration policy. Thank you, André De Freitas. Would you like to promote anything?
Well, first I'd like to say I'm very happy to be in the country. Please don't take any of my comments to heart. I am just a member of the community now, and I am committed to making America a better place for all of us.
All of us.
All of us.
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 U.S.
That's right.
USA.
That's right.
USA.
This.
And what do I want to promote? I guess I'm gonna have a special coming out soon. I don't know exactly where yet, but I'm on André Comedy, ANDRE on Instagram, and help me get over the threshold for immigration.
Yeah, he needs 2,000 more followers to get to 100,000, which will make him automatically get a visa. Just kidding, but that'd be funny.
In our imaginary merch store, you can pick up our "Don't Deport Andre" t-shirts.
Great, I love that. Let's get that merch going.
All right, thank you so much, Andre.
Thank you.
Thank you.